Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, I do remember asking the Senate spokesperson at the time now, what was the essence of the second letter? Because, I mean, from the request from the DSS, because the first one was there, it was clear, but they expecting it to change, but eventually they got it. But what do you think? Did they have to request for a second letter?
You ask yourself, why should there be a request for a second letter? And who made the request? The request should not have been made if made by the Senate, because the president has already cleared this man of the allegations he claimed was made against him by the DSS first report. By asking for a second report, quite outside the first report, then you should have allowed the presidency to be aware of this before his presence before the Senate. Because this is not a slap in the face of Magu. This is a slap in the face of the president. This is a slap on all Nigerians. When your president in his position has nominated somebody and you found him wanting, you said this is the reason why we find him wanting, and he claimed that, look, I have looked into it. He has explained it. I agree with him. That is enough for you not to be asking for more.
My apologies. The president is expected to receive the response from the Senate why it rejected Magu. We do understand that he must have received it yesterday, but today is a new week starting, new working week starting. Now that has happened, if Magu should continue in acting capacity, it doesn't really diminish his capacity to probe issues of corruption, does it?
No, it doesn't. Because under the law, acting is different from being a confirmed. The EFCC Act says there shall be a chairman of the EFCC who shall be nominated for that appointment as chairman by the president. However, it must be confirmed by the Senate. Now, the problem is, before you can nominate to the Senate, you must have done your homework. Homework in the sense that every appointee, the president asked DSS to write a report on all of them. Why should, in the case of Magu, the DSS should not have written straight to the presidency and writing to the Senate? Then something is wrong somewhere. They did it the first time, it backfired on them. They have done it the second time. I think what we should ask ourselves now is, who authorized DSS to write that second report?
Are they not within their rights to have?
It's not within their right.
And responsibilities to write the letter?
So it's illegal for them to have written?
The DSS responsibility goes to the president. It does not go to any other person. They are meant to look at the internal security of this country. And whatever they find wrong, it goes to the National Security Advisor, who takes it to Mr. President. There is no right of DSS to send report directly to Senate.
Okay, now about the committee that the presidency set up to investigate the matter, which they said they cleared him before representing him. There are those who think that, number one, that's not a security outfit. So on what basis can they set up that committee to look into a security matter? And does that go against the principle of natural justice?
Well, what DSS did was not purely a security matter.
I mean, the committee headed by
I know.
the AG.
What they did that gave rise to the matter being sent to the was never a security matter. Because their duty, let me remember, I did this case on this Lebanese. I was the lawyer to the Lebanese. I was the leading counsel. And I was able to draw the attention that DSS, you have no right to look into internal and external terrorisms. Your duty is to look into the internal terrorism, Boko Haram and others. Why are you looking at terrorism in Lebanon, and you are talking about Lebanon. You see, when they exceed their right, for instance, it is the security of the country that is their basic duty, not individuals' character to accept. When they solicit when anybody solicits their opinion, they can give it, but that is when it is solicited. And that's why I still keep asking the question, who solicited this opinion on Magu from them? Your question was that whether,
it goes against the principle of natural justice.
It goes. Definitely.
I mean, the AGF committee clearing Magu because he's a president's appointment. Did we think that they were going to say, no, Mr. President, we can't clear him?
They can say it because the facts are there. And as we lawyers say, facts speak for themselves. If you have been found guilty and sentenced to imprisonment and they write it there, the committee cannot ignore it.
So what about this one that DSS have done? Why do we suggest that the Senate should have ignored it?
They had no right to write directly to the Senate.
So it should have been sent to the President?
Presidency. And you see, this embarrassment, maybe people are not looking at the totality of the embarrassment this thing has created. When a president says, I have cleared somebody, let us forget the first instance. We had the opportunity to look at his inner actions. Did not arise. Well, one can give the benefit of the doubt. But when it was rejected in the first instance and the president said, I have looked into this thing, I am satisfied, that should have been the end of everything.